You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
It's kind of funny listening to that.
Hi, Bron.
Hi.
You always go right into it.
Well,
Be nice.
yes,
It's cordial.
I always do go right into it because that's what you should do.
Who says
We don't
be
need
like-
to do introductions.
No, be nice. Hey, Bronny, how you doing? That's a nice thing. People
Good,
wanna,
Dad. How are you?
I'm okay.
Just
Let's go
okay.
right into it. So, what's
Just
the
okay.
funny-
That's a shame.
I'm actually doing great.
Okay, good. Me too.
Good.
I'm doing fine. I had a rough morning, but I'll tell you about that
I
after
want to
this.
hear. I want to hear about
I
it.
was just saying it's kind of funny how
Isn't it?
we listen
funny?
to like that song
It's feeling. Okay.
and it's our voices, but like I don't think of it as our voices anymore. That was the first time that I was like, wait, this is us talking in the
I
song.
don't. But you want to something even more? I didn't even listen to it.
I know that's what I'm saying.
It's
but
literally-
this time I did listen to it, and it's funny that our show every week starts out with
People are stupid.
no. It ends with that. But the first words that are spoken every single week are "you're joking" or something. What is it?
You're joking, right?
Yeah, you're joking, right? Like that's weird. Why do we start the show with "you're joking," right?
I don't know.
Do people want us to update that? We
I
can
don't
keep the
see-
same beat, but we can add
I
new.
I don't know if I agree. I like our thing.
I like it
It's
too,
like,
but that was
take-
made with like 4 episodes.
Okay, boy, take the show Friends. Friends is like-
Well,
Idiot. Take the show Friends.
that's how the show starts.
their intro has been the same, like one of the longest, or Seinfeld, one of the longest running.
Seinfeld
thing.
doesn't have an intro.
It does.
Dum, 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 dum.
Okay, it's unbelievable. But my point is, they didn't change. I think it works. We're growing. I like it. It's our trademark.
But it literally is from like we have so
Does
many
not
good
matter.
we have so many good sound bites since then because that was like 3 episodes of sound bites I had to choose from.
So everybody will do an informal survey. You DM Bronny and you let us know. I'm voting to keep it exactly the way it is.
I have no preference. I just thought about it and I was like, maybe it's time for a change, or maybe like what is this episode 83? Maybe for the 100th episode we do a new
I don't know.
a new intro.
People, I think sometimes we fuck. If it ain't broke, don't fix
No,
it.
And I'm not
Look
saying
at
we
the
need
Porsche
to fix it.
911. Same fucking stuff for 50 years and it still works.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we need to fix it. Just a thought that popped into the head. Let us
Okay.
know.
Because a lot of people do say to me they can't believe how stupid people are, and they say it's so
No, people are stupid. Should
Apropos-
definitely stay.
how apropos it is from the very beginning of us having this
Right.
thing.
That definitely should stay. But you're joking, right? I don't know if that applies anymore. Yeah, I guess
It's who
it
I
does.
am.
It is, but I feel like there's better ones now. It's like, should the show start with like, "You're a fucking retard"? You know, should it start with that? That could be funny.
That could be funny.
But then also we would have like that would
We'd
throw
have more
people off.
listeners. Speaking of, Mom says we're over 14 million on that TikTok, and we've reached over 250,000 followers.
We're at 248,000 followers.
That's
Yeah.
fucking great, Bronny.
It is great.
Wow.
$250,000.
Good job.
Thanks.
Wow, you're very
You
good.
too.
You're very good with numbers.
Yeah,
No, I think it's amazing.
yeah. Congrats to us.
Congrats. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me what
No,
happened.
This morning was one of the weirdest mornings in my life.
So
One of the-
Bronny came home and he rang the front door, which is unusual because he usually goes through the back gate because he has an opener. But I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I have Bryce's car. I'll fill you in." I go, "Okay."
Yeah, so I go to bed last night. We're out at a club, whatever.
What'd you do
Big
last
group
night?
of people. There were like 15 of us because Bryce had a lot of college friends in town.
Are they still staying with you?
Tonight. And
And are they good guests?
Yeah, one of them missed one of them's flight got canceled, so he's not staying with us. He just stayed in New York. He couldn't make it down.
Oh, that sucks. So Bryce has only one friend here.
Yeah, but there are 2 other friends that are visiting, but they're staying elsewhere.
Which friend is here?
Pete.
Okay, good.
So we got a table at a club. It was actually a fun night. We all had a good time. But we got home at like 4:30, right? So I'm in bed.
Oh my God, how do you do that shit?
I really don't know, honestly. It's not.
It's not healthy.
It's not. It's not at all. But I was like, you know what? I'll go to bed at 4:30 we're going to bed at 4:30 in the morning. I'll wake up at like 11 or noon, and I'll drive down and we'll do the podcast because we usually do it Saturdays at like 1 anyways, right? So I was like, it'll be fine. I'll still get like 7 hours. It's fine. 7:30 in the morning rolls around. I'm dead asleep, and I hear a voice, felt like God, in my head. Apparently, right, like we have fire alarms in our building that are connected to the building.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in every room in the apartment, and they have speakers in the alarm.
We have that too. I think it's a code thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at 7:30 in the morning, attention residents. This is not a fire drill, but in 20 minutes, a helicopter will be arriving, and you will not be able to leave the building until 2 p.m.
Get the fuck out.
I'm like, what? Well, because they did tell us there was like a notice posted in the lobby like a week ago.
They can't force you to stay in your place.
I know, but they did. So there was a notice posted like a week ago in the lobby that said they're replacing the HVAC system on the roof, and they need to like airlift it out and then airlift a new one.
So why
in.
can't you leave your
So with the
apartment?
helicopter, and so they said like from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. like you.
Why not do it during a weekday when people are at work?
No, because so what happened is because they had to close. So we live in Brickell. I've said that before.
Wow, your nails are bad.
They had to close the entire block down
For safety?
Yeah, and so they definitely couldn't have done it during the week. It would have been an absolute shitstorm. But so we wake up.
Why, in case it falls?
I guess that's what they're. Yeah.
Well, strap the fucking thing. It's got to come from somewhere.
And it's like helicopters are in the air all the time, anyways.
Carrying shit.
But so I hear that, and I'm like, I'm just like, that's fine, right? I was like, I don't even know. I didn't.
So
even
what do
hear
you
it.
do? You can't say that in your place till 2.
So I go back to sleep, and then 20 minutes later, it's like the helicopter is here. You will not be able to leave the building until 2 p.m. And
Who's gonna stop you?
I'm still like, oh, okay, whatever. And then it goes again. It's like, so then it was like 7:30, then 8, and then 9. No, then 8:30, there's another. And also the thing is, the guy repeated the announcement twice every time he did it, and then he had to do it in Spanish. So it was like 4 full sentences every 20 minutes while I'm trying to sleep in the speakers right above my head. So it's like, now I'm awake already. So so then it's like 8:30, still stay in the building, whatever.
Do you have blinds on your front window in the family room?
Yeah.
So you have those blinds you can roll up and down. Okay,
Yes.
that's good to have, right?
Yeah. So then at 9, we hear, I'm still like I'm going back to sleep after each of these announcements, just because like in my brain, I'm like half asleep, so I'm not thinking rationally, right? Like I'm hearing the announcements, and then I'm like, that's fine. That's not a big deal. When in reality, it's a big deal. Like I can't be locked in my apartment till 2 p.m.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck that.
But
where do you go at 7:30 in the morning?
Right,
like a homeless
exactly.
person.
So then we hear one at 9 that's like, the helicopter is refueling. You have 20 minutes that you can leave. So I'm like, 20 minutes. Oh, shit. And I get up, and Bryce and I like open our doors at the same time. And we're like, we got to get out of here. Like,
but once they drop the fucking thing off the helicopter leaves, why can't...
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And we could hear the helicopter for like hours whirring. It was super loud. It's like, I don't know what they're doing with this helicopter. Probably cost them $1 million. They're renting a helicopter for 8 hours. That's ridiculous.
Go on.
So Bryce
It's
and
also
I...
not $1 million, but go on.
It's called a hyperbole, but that's all right.
Okay. Really fancy guy.
Yeah, do you know what that word means?
Hyperbole, I've heard of it.
An exaggeration.
Okay, so why can you say exaggeration?
Because hyperbole is a better word.
You're such a douchebag.
Hyperbole is a better word.
You're such a douche the way you speak like that. It's a hyperbole and it's a hypothesis as well. Not a educated
Well, you think
guess.
I'm actually legitimately saying it cost them $1 million?
Okay,
It's called...
I know.
I'm saying it's like $1 million.
Continue your story.
No, so then Bryce, Pete, and I... Pete's like on the couch. We all like are still half asleep, and we're like, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here, because Bryce and Pete had to be on a boat at noon in Coral Gables, and I had to be here at noon. So I was like, we gotta get out.
Oh my God, that would suck me in a boat.
So we're scrambling. We're like putting bags together. We're like, we have 10 minutes. There's only 10 minutes left. We run downstairs. The thing is, my key, like I valet my car with the building. So my key is kept in the little valet box in the lobby. So I go downstairs and I'm like, I need my key. And they're like, the valet is not working today. And the thing was locked. So now I'm like, oh, fuck.
Wait, you can't get your car?
No. So my key's locked in the valet box, and the valet are not working today because of the helicopter thing. They're like, and they never
you don't
told
have a spare key? I have it.
I have a spare key. So I run. So here's the thing. We have 10 minutes now. So we run down to the lobby. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, fuck, we don't have enough time. We have 5 minutes. So I'm just like, Bryce, let's get in your car and let's go. And I'll drop you guys off, and then I'll get in my car. So then we get in his car, we start driving down, and as we get to the bottom, the gate's closing in the garage. It feels like we're like hostages. The gate's closing, and we're like trying to Indiana Jones, like go under it. And these police officers are like, get back. You can't go to the helicopter. It's like, are we in Afghanistan?
It's a fucking helicopter with straps.
It's so ridiculous.
They build things all the time. They build fucking 50-story towers, but they don't shut down a fucking block.
It makes no sense.
Okay, everywhere in Miami is construction. But this...
Yeah, and there are helicopters all day, every day.
Oh, my God.
Planes and helicopters
retards.
in the sky.
Good.
And the street was completely closed because I walked out, and they didn't want me to walk out. They were like, you can't walk out. And I was like, I need to see if I can leave. So I was like trying to leave, and there was security on both sides. Not just security, police officers with police cars blocking each entrance to the road.
Retarded.
It was so ridiculous. So then we couldn't get out of the garage. They literally closed the gate. So it's not like, and it's a big gate. It's not like a little arm that we could have driven through. It's like a gate.
Right.
So we drive back up.
What, that gate likes other gates?
Huh?
I thought you said gay gate. Okay, go ahead. No, I think we're
No, because it was just an objectively bad joke.
And here we go. Objectively. It's hyperbole.
You paid.
Keep going.
Wait. You paid $250,000 for my education.
More than that, by the way.
And to give me as best of an education as you could have given me, and yet when I use that education, you make fun of me for it.
That's not true. I'm not making fun of you.
So like I was taught all these words at the nice private school that you paid for.
You're a very smart kid.
And then when I use those words that I've learned over the years, you don't want me to use the words?
No, it's just a little douchey to say. It's
hyperbole is a very normal word.
All right, keep going. So now the cops are there.
So we have to go back. We park the car. We go back up. We sit in the apartment for like 30 more minutes. And we're like, what the fuck are we going to do? We're like, so we're stuck in here till 2 p.m. We have no food. Our fridge and freezer are completely empty. And we've been up for like 3 hours already. So we're already starting to get hungry. We felt like we were hostages.
They cannot not have you leave your fucking building.
They literally didn't let us. It was so weird. And I was like, I'll get arrested for this. I don't give a fuck. If I get arrested, I'll make the money suing them for not letting me leave.
You'll give you lunch.
Yeah, true. I'll get those good banana cookies.
Go ahead.
So then like 30 minutes later, we hear another announcement that was like, you have 10 minutes to
vacate.
And it was so funny. Like right when the announcement happened, like everyone was trying to flood the elevators. It was like
couldn't even get an elevator.
No, we did because we're right by the elevator. But everyone was like leaving in a horde because everyone was just like, I need to get out. I can't be here. And like people with dogs, it just how can they do it?
What do you do with the dogs? You're out all day?
You just have to wait until they tell you that you can leave.
Or those cat of poop.
I felt like we were in like China or something. It was so bad. But then when that happens, I was like, okay, we all went down to the lobby. And Bryce and Pete, we went down to the lobby to check if we'd be able to leave in our car. And the person at the front desk said, no, the gates are closed. No one can drive out. The streets are closed. So then Bryce and Pete were like, okay, we're just going to Uber down. And I was like, fuck, I guess I'll have to wait till 2 p.m.
Right, come up
to leave. But this is ridiculous. And
what are you going to do all day?
Yeah, and it's like I have no food. I don't trust in 10 minutes myself to be able to run to the supermarket, get food, and run back. Because if I miss it, they're going to close the doors, and I'll be stuck outside with groceries.
So what happened? How'd you get the car?
So I go down and I try to get the box open. I'm talking to security. I'm like, I need my key. That's my personal property. Right. And it's locked in here. And I was never told it will be locked in here. And I need it. And they were like, the valet's not working. I was like, well, then I'm getting my money back for this month of valet because this is absolutely whatever. So I started fighting with that guy. I'm like, it's not your fault. I know it's the valet, but whatever. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just try. He's like, there's 5 minutes left before you can't leave.
This is so retarded.
So I was like, let me just try to. At this point, Bryce and I switched because I was like, at 2 p.m., I was like, I don't have my keys anyways. So I'm going to need your car, Bryce, to drive to Boca. So we switched. I gave him my fob and I took his car keys. So I'm like, let me just go check and see if there's 5 minutes left. Let me see if I can get out with Bryce's car. So I run up to the garage, get in Bryce's car, turn the thing. The car doesn't turn on.
Why?
And I'm like, oh,
why?
Fuck. Try it again. The battery light comes on. And I'm like, oh, serious? No. Try it a third time. It works. Super weird.
We have to get a new battery then.
Yeah, it said like check batteries.
We should have done that this morning. Why didn't you when you got here? We should have done it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I got here 30 minutes ago.
I think we're going to go do this right after this.
Okay, we can. Yes. So I was even then. I'm like, okay, the God doesn't want me to leave this building. Finally, I got it open. I'm sprinting, like going really fast down the garage. I turn to the corner and the gate's closing. But I was like, no, I'm going. And I start to go for it. And there's a security guard there who's like, stop. And I'm like, I'm going. I'm getting out of this building. It's open. And so he's like, okay, fine. Come on. And he like gets me out quickly. The streets are closed. So I have to go through like the back alley and go around. And I made it out. And I felt like a fugitive. It was the weirdest thing in my life.
By the way, I would never have guessed that.
It was the weirdest morning ever. I went to bed just like, oh, what a fun night. Can't wait to sleep in. Atención residentes, like in Spanish. It was so weird.
By the way, not in a million years. Just let's be very clear.
I was a fugitive in my own building that I live in.
Not in a million years.
In downtown Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my morning. It sucked.
That's an interesting morning. So we probably need a new battery for the truck.
Yes, the battery probably.
If we get out of here soon enough, we'll bring it.
Yeah, it was a very interesting morning. Never had a morning like that in my life.
I never, ever heard of that.
I felt like I was in a war zone. Helicopters above me. police all around. I'm trying to sneak out of a place.
What
I'm
do
being held
people do
hostage.
with dogs? If they, I guess
They have
on
to
the
go,
balcony.
or they have to go. Like when I was in the elevator down, when they were like, "You have 20 minutes." The helicopter's refueling. It was full of dogs because everyone was like, "I got to get my fucking dog out."
You can stay on the ground, just can't leave, right?
You can't go. No, you can't go to the like. There's the outdoor that connects the two
Yes.
buildings where like the pool is. Doors were locked. You could not go outside there. And so the only way out you could go is through the lobby. And there were literally police officers outside the doors in the lobby. And when I went out, they were like, "Get back!"
Oh, give me a fucking
They literally
break.
get back. No, the whole helicopter. I was like,
It's
I'm
a
an adult
helicopter.
human.
It's
Let me live my life. Helicopters are in the sky every day. And you know what? If I die, I will assume the risk
what is
of
it?
if this
But
HVAC
what's
falls
the
on me.
difference? What's the difference between cranes? Their cranes are all over the city.
Lifting
No, wait,
things every
all
minute.
over the city.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It was like so micromanaged and overmanaged.
Oh my god!
So my key's still there, and my car's locked, and I'm yelling at them tomorrow because they never told me.
Right.
And the security.
You could have prepared. You could have prepared.
Of course, I would have parked my car on the street. Of course, I would.
They don't know what business meeting you missed or something.
No, that's what I'm going to say tomorrow. I'm going to say I missed a full day of work because my car was here. You never told me. I literally paid you for this month yesterday afternoon. I looked
Right,
you in the eye and
you
gave
say
you the
you had a
cash.
gig up in
You couldn't have
Broward,
said, yeah,
right?
no,
Like
I'm just going to say I missed a full day of work. This is ridiculous. I need some of my money back. You never told me. You stole my property without giving it to
They
me.
should have told you 100%.
Yeah, so that was my
Well, that's some morning, bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
A fugitive in Miami. And then I was like driving around and I was like, am I allowed to be out? Like I felt weird. And everyone else was out. I was like, how are all these people out? I was like, oh yeah, they don't live in our building.
No, that's weird. Never would have expected that in a million years.
No, it was very odd. And then I had to drive the hour down to Boca and Bryce's shitbox of a car.
Up to Boca.
Is
Is it a shitbox?
Yeah, I hit 90 and the steering wheel started shaking on me like this.
Well, they could be balancing.
When I had my old Jeep, it wasn't an old Jeep. It was a Jeep that I had a while ago. It couldn't go over 80. And sometimes when I would hit 85, it was a soft top Jeep and the roof would start coming up. So I could literally I could see the sky.
space.
Like my roof would lift up if I went above 80 and the steering wheel would shake so much that I was like, I can't do this.
Some cars are not meant to go fast.
No.
And then you take the Porsche, you add on a 30 like it's nothing. Just a different engineering.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're safe.
I made it. I'm
glad the AC unit didn't fall on you.
Yeah, I made it and
That's so bizarre.
it's 220. Oh, so you know what? I could have left now.
But that shit gets strapped in it. It's not falling.
No, it's ridiculous. The entire block
And by the
was
way,
closed.
and one last thing about this thing, but the helicopter hovers, drops it off, undo the clips, and then leave. It could be maybe an hour.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Why do they need 7 to 2?
Maybe because by the time they get it in the proper spot, I don't know.
It makes no sense. And it's also so the helicopter has to bring the HVAC from someplace anyway, so it has to hover with it.
Right, those streets are not
someplace.
being closed. The whole world's not closing
Right,
down.
exactly. The whole world. Maybe,
That's my
Maybe
point.
they drove it in because they did block. They didn't just block our street. They blocked the entire block off. So maybe they drove the HVAC in to one of the streets that was blocked off, and then the helicopter was going to go pick it up and then come up, so it didn't have to hover over other
Could
streets.
be.
That's probably what it was. But yeah, we can move on to
Did you
other
videotape
things.
any of it?
No, I was so aggravated that I was like, I need
No
to get the
car,
fuck
right.
out of here. I can't waste time videotaping because I'm going to lose the 3-minute window that I need to escape this hostage situation.
Jesus. Sorry to
But I made it. I'm here.
You made it.
And I have a story.
Good for you, buddy. All right, I haven't seen you in about a week. Did I?
I saw you maybe a week.
I don't like it. I like seeing my boy. I haven't seen Bryce in a while. I'm not going to see him until next weekend because I'm
Why?
gone. I leave tomorrow to DC.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool
What's cool?
that you're going to to speak at something or something.
Yeah, so it'll be fine, but I like being home. I like
of
my
course.
routine. I don't want to get in a plane. I've got no mask though, right?
No mask.
And being out of the office is very hard for me. When I come back, it's very stressful.
When you go to DC, you're going to go to the White House and take a picture of you flicking it off or something?
No, I'm going to see Jean, my old roommate in college. We have dinner. We're going to a place where Mom and I went on one of our first dates. So that'll be a little nostalgic and nice.
You went on one of your first dates in DC? You
Oh,
lived in New York.
No, that's correct. We were dating though, and we went to DC, but we also know her from,
Right.
she went to Maryland, I went to
Yeah, you
American.
both went to college.
It was a great day. We took I'm sure she went on many dates there, and I went on many dates there.
Oh, wow. You went on many dates? Are you jealous of I'm going on many dates?
No,
there?
it was a date place. It was definitely a date place.
Yeah.
They used to have very good rolls. This butter that had a lemon poppy seed in it. It was great butter.
Okay.
Just thought I'd share that with you.
No, yeah, share away.
It was fun.
I think you should take a picture with Biden or like at Biden's house and post it on your Instagram or something. Like you're not going to do any
I'm not
political
even
stuff.
Get there. No, why? No, I get there Sunday. We're down in the hotel where the conference is. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm just trying to be funny.
So we'll get there tomorrow afternoon. I'd have no desire to go to the fucking White House.
Right.
Biden.
Remember when you used to call it the Black House when Obama was president?
Yeah.
So racist and not funny, but that's all right.
I never called the Black House.
You just said you did.
That wasn't me. That's a voiceover.
Obama. What are your thoughts on Obama now that it's like we're 2 presidents away from Obama? Because you used to feel very passionately about Obama.
Okay.
And we've never actually talked about that on the show.
I think Obama is better than Biden's.
Why?
I just think because I don't think there was as much disruption in our country.
Well, there definitely wasn't. Yeah.
And I also don't think I think the economics of how things are so expensive and what's going on in our society and our country with regards to the cost of living and prices and things like that, I think are so skewed and so far out there that it wasn't with Biden.
Yeah.
I mean,
Obama. The stakes didn't feel as high under Obama.
It
was like, oh yeah, I don't like what he's doing, but hey, our country's still good. That's what it felt like.
And I think, and look, it could also be the perfect storm. It could be social media is more powerful, and what happened with Trump and trying to be censored, and I really think the separation of our government was when Trump got involved. It could be, Biden is an idiot. The BLM movement was
the woke shit is way worse. There was no such thing as woke during Obama. So it was 2016.
So I think this bifurcation, this race or this white toxicity, whatever it is, I think there's so many factors that have come into play. Some by the Biden administration, some just because of where society's at.
Yes.
And I just think it's so. I'm not here to blame it all on the thing, but what I do blame is it got so bad, our political division and our society being divided, that I would definitely go back to the Obama years than where I am now.
I totally agree.
But I really want to go back to where the Trump years.
No,
I think our Trump was strong.
How you said the bifurcation, all that
well,
stuff.
That started
that's because of Trump.
Well, okay, but
even if it's not I'm not saying like he did it personally. I'm saying because he was president,
correct.
It split the country.
No, 100% I agree with that.
And the wound is too big to stitch back.
I get it, but I don't think it was his doing. I think it's just society.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
It was because he was president. I think if someone else was president, the split wouldn't have gone the way it did.
I agree.
Because he was president, the left was so bad, and then he just kept fueling the fires of division.
Well,
so everyone kept dividing.
Maybe just in division. I think there's so much corruption but I don't want to get into the whole Trump thing because we beat a dead horse, but I think it's a lot of, I think it was the left side going at him and creating this divisiveness, and then social media.
Yeah, leaders. I mean, it's not the left's fault it's both. It's everyone's fault. Right. Actually, it's everyone and no one's fault that the country split.
But either way, but I would definitely take Obama over Biden back then to where it is now.
I would honestly even take Obama first term over Trump first term. Because Trump first term, this country, even if you say the economy was good, he was standing up to shit. This country was in such turmoil in the Trump years, and everything we're living now is because of those years. And because even the reason Biden's president is because Trump was president.
Correct.
So it's like everything we're living in now is because of Trump.
But I don't want to give into
that an Obama just like nice. Oh, everything's going well in the world, even though you might not like the president, but hey, your country's still happy.
But I also don't believe that the inmates should run the asylum. I don't think was Trump's doing while I think it's just people and what was going on. But
if Trump wasn't president in 2016, if Trump never ran or never got elected, the country would not be the way it is now. It would be who knows? We could have gotten someone way worse, but 90% of the problems we're experiencing are because of the Trump era, not because of Trump.
Anti-Trump, correct.
Not even anti-Trump, because of Trump too. Well, you can't just say it's only like Trump did nothing wrong. Trump literally fueled division. He said he was very, very divisive.
All right, but
as a president, if half the country doesn't like you, you try to get them to like you. You don't say fuck off.
All right, but
that's the definition of division.
Okay, I get, but people got what they voted for, and now look at our economy. I'm not saying. I bet you there's plenty of people that
you're pushing off the. You're saying people got what they voted for, but I'm saying Trump. You got Biden into office.
No.
Biden would never have been president if Trump wasn't president.
But people voting for
Right,
someone
so
else.
you voted for Trump, which then created Biden, and so you voted.
No, but
so you
it
created
shows,
it
again, back to our original opening, how fucking stupid people are because they vote against somebody.
Exactly. That's
Which
what I'm
is
saying.
stupid.
So voting for Trump caused everyone to vote against Trump. Therefore, you voting for Trump put Biden into office.
All right,
That's what I'm saying.
all right, but listen, there's nothing we can do about it, and Biden ain't going to win again. I'll tell you that much.
Well, they're not even going to let him run. Guaranteed, he will not run again.
The Dems are not winning.
They're
too
not.
much damage. They're not winning.
No,
They fucking
the
cause
Democrats
so much
are
damage
creating.
themselves.
They're creating
so,
a worse Trump for the next 4 years.
They're
to be honest.
damaging our society so badly. People, don't you think that the upper middle class or the wealthy, gas prices, it sucks. Cost of food, it sucks. But we can handle it. The
We
average,
can't handle it. Oh, you're talking about the upper class can handle it.
yes, I'm saying the average working person,
No, they can't handle it.
it's fucking destroying them. By the way, rent, Bronson, there's no place for these people to go.
Oh, Dad, I know.
Wait, let me finish.
I read about it every day. It's a
Right,
problem.
there's no place for these people to go. Gas, food. I mean,
Yeah, Dad,
it's
it's a huge
so fucking bad. We're talking down to like dollars. Every dollar counts to these fucking people.
Literally, this episode brought to you by Manscaped. I used mine the other day, actually. I use it every week on my face. My Lawnmower 4.0, the best. I have the specific setting, and it's set.
Well, that's
and I
because
never
you have
have to
the
worry
beard
about
to use there.
Right, I trim down my beard,
Right.
and then I also use it on my chest, and I use it.
It's like Brillo.
I use it in the most necessary place, my taint.
Wow. I like the nose and the ear trimmer.
Yeah.
That shit's the best.
Yes, it certainly is.
And I even use the lawnmower, not the one.
No,
that
the
goes
weed
in.
whacker is up your
No,
nose.
I like using the one that you use to go like it gives a real close on the nose. And
So
the ear.
they're just versatile products, guys. That's
and you
what
can
we're
use
getting
it in the
at.
shower, which is fucking great. And it's got the light on it. We are loyal. Funny, we were loyal Manscaped.
We were
user
customers
beforehand, and then when we got the new version, because
Yes.
a lot of our listeners and friends, we said you got to get the new version, and they're like
The Lawnmower 4.0.
right? And they're like, no, I have it. I go, no, it's like going from a 50-year-old car to a newer car. It's night and day. It's
It
great.
is. It's fully wireless charging on the Lawnmower 4.0. You can use it in the shower. Manscaped has the skin-safe technology in their blades that you can go anywhere, and they sensitive parts. You could apply some pressure. You don't have to worry about it nicking you. It's got you covered. It's great products. Not only do they have those mechanical products with the trimmer and the nose hair trimmer, but they also have an awesome new line that a lot of people don't know about of actual skincare products and grooming products.
Great stuff.
They've got really nice smelling deodorant. They have a body hydrating spray. So instead of sometimes when everyone likes nice skin, but if you're a guy and you don't want to like put lotion on your skin, you kind of
It's
feel like a
refreshing,
bitch.
too. It's
So I
refreshing.
spray this shit down on my body. It's like cooling. It smells really good and it hydrates my skin.
And you get compliments. People like you hug somebody, it's like, oh, you
I
smell
always
good.
smell good because I use Manscaped's cologne, I use their lip balm, I use their deodorant, I use their 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, I use their body wash. So if anyone has met me in real life and it's like, ooh, Bronson smells really good, you can smell like me.
It's compliments to Manscaped.
Yeah, head over to manscaped.com if you want to smell like Bronson and you want to get great a great trimmer. Everyone needs one, men, women. Men get them for your women get them for your men. You can head over to manscaped.com, use the code daddyissues20.
Men get it for your men. Women get it for your women.
Sure.
Right.
If you head over to manscaped.com, use the code daddyissues20, you can get 20% off and free shipping on everything that they offer. Everything. So it's well worth it. You won't regret it. We never regret using them.
And check out the site. There's a lot of stuff. It's worth looking.
Yeah, so once again, manscaped.com, use the code daddyissues20. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. So I was
Major problem. And in America, this should not happen.
I was reading a Reddit thread yesterday, and this seems so stupid, but it actually kind of scared the shit out of me. I was reading a Reddit thread that was written by strippers, and it was strippers all commenting on it, talking about how the strip clubs are empty now, and they have been for like the last month or so.
Interesting.
And they're talking. It was fascinating.
I
It was
got something about strippers.
It
in
was
a
these
minute.
strippers talking about it and saying, we're like the front line of a recession. Because when people spend money on strippers, it's money that they can waste.
You just throw it
And so
away.
when people when people don't have money to waste, they don't come to strip clubs. And these strippers are all saying that around the country, they're finding that the strip clubs are getting emptier and emptier. And they're saying that they think it's a harbinger of the recession.
Could we get a deal if we went? I'm teasing.
And I was like, that honestly makes a lot of sense. And that's kind of scary. If people aren't willing to waste money, it
wealthy
feels
gotta
like we're
get
in a
wealthy.
recession. And
So-
we might already be there.
So, I represent this client who's in California, owns a house in Boca. The person paid for the rent for the year, but kept the house in disrepair. Now my guy's really not there, doesn't see it, whatever. So I moved to evict this tenant because it's in such disrepair. And so yesterday I got my writ of possession. So yesterday I met the sheriff, two sheriff
in LA.
No, right here. He lives in the property in Boca.
Oh, got it.
But he had no one here, so I went to meet the sheriff,
Right.
Who and my locksmith, and I go to the house. I got to show you that shit. Okay,
You haven't showed me.
I'm gonna show you. Disgusting.
Like hoarder or just like
No,
gross?
no, gross. So, and there were like strippers living in there, and there was a strip pole in the kitchen.
Like strippers?
Strippers. Yeah, listen. So the police officers go, I think they were running like a private strip club.
That's kind of sick.
Wait, I want to show you the. Can I show you the video?
Yeah. They had more than one pole in the place?
One pole.
Oh.
But the way disgusting, the way fucking people live, Bronny. So I got rid of them. Okay, I want you to look. This is the pool. Look how bad this was.
Yeah, it's green and black for those
beyond.
listening.
That would like, and then look, I'm going to show you. That's the garage. 1 minute. Oh no, it's the laundry. Wait, I'll show you. 1 minute, you'll see. 1 minute.
Looks fun right now.
There's the strip pole.
Stripper pole in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Stripper pole in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And just a lot of garbage on the floor.
But this is how people live.
Yeah.
So there's one girl left who we evicted her. She had like an Audi convertible as a stripper.
Yeah.
Some black chick. And she was like, I didn't know I was being evicted.
Was she hot?
No, gross.
Was she gross?
Well, they're gross, tatted up, all gross. She was nice, but she's like, can I get my stuff? Like, you got 10 minutes, get your stuff.
The only time I ever...
Is that unbelievable how people fucking live?
Speaking of strippers, this could be way dirtier, Dad. Way dirtier.
Oh, no. It's not doing it justice. It was beyond disgusting. Roaches on the floor.
This is actually like a nice looking house.
Oh, no, the house is nice.
Yeah.
But it's going to be about $50,000 to bring this back up, No electricity. They didn't have any electricity. They had portable generators.
That's weird.
Food in the beds.
Well, a lot of people are gross.
People are fucking gross. Look at this.
Yeah, just a lot of clothes. You have to explain what Dad, most people are listening to this, so they have no idea
I know,
what this is.
So
but you're just saying, look at this.
I'm just showing you.
I know, but you have to explain. It's just a lot of clothes and
dirty filth.
It actually
gross
could be a lot worse.
Fucking people live. Ugh. Gross.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, it's the same.
It was the same shit, right? That was it.
Speaking of strippers, I was talking about this with Bryce and Pete yesterday. Remember, the only time we've ever censored this show, and no one knows about this. No one knows we ever censored our show. Remember, we released an episode, and then once it was released, 20 minutes later, Bryce was like, you have to cut out that 20-minute segment.
Something with his fraternity.
Yes, and so we cut it out, and it's never been released.
You're right. You think we can do it now, though?
Oh, no, we can, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yes, that's
because
great.
I was talking with Bryce and Pete, who were the ones that... Wait, let me finish. Bryce and Pete were the ones that the story was about, and so they were like, you need to take it down. We'll get kicked out of school.
Because they were underground fraternity.
Yes, and so we were talking about it last night. I don't know how it came up, and I was like, the only censored part of this entire podcast was because of you. And I was like, can I do it now? You guys are out of college.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with it. And they were like, yeah, fuck it. You can release it. So I'm gonna take that clip. It's like a 10-minute clip.
Why not the whole thing?
That whole episode? No, we just cut that clip out of the episode. So I'm going to take that clip and release that clip.
Gotcha. So yeah, so Bryce's fraternity.
I'll release it on the Patreon because I don't want to blast. Bryce was like, yeah, I guess you can release it.
Why can't you do it on the general one? What's the big deal? He's not in school anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, does it talk about anything about what they do in the fraternity?
Yes.
Then you shouldn't do that.
No, Bryce and Pete were both like, yeah, you can release it. It's funny now.
So Bryce's fraternity got kicked off campus, but they ran the fraternity at Tulane, like what they call underground. So they still ran as a fraternity, but they weren't recognized.
But it wasn't official.
They weren't recognized by the national chapter or Tulane, and they were told if they do these events or whatever, they're going to get kicked out of school. But listen.
And they did, this event was ridiculous.
Okay, but
it was a bunch of underage kids being forced to drink, strippers, throw up, fights.
Yeah, but Pete's throw up is fine.
No, it wasn't Pete throw up.
I know Pete throws up.
It was you'll see in the clip. But basically, a 19-year-old kid was drunk out of his mind. There was a stripper giving him a lap dance. Disgusting New Orleans stripper.
This video?
No.
Oh, how do you know it's disgusting?
I watched it with my own eyes. I was sitting next to him.
There. Oh, yeah.
I was in the room, cracking up. I was sitting there. Everyone's smoking cigars. We're in this bar. So I'm sitting there just smoking a cigar, watching these children get danced upon by naked strippers. And one of the kids is so drunk that the girl is literally giving him a lap dance, but like behind, right? She's like, her ass is to his face. And he pukes on her back. And then she turns around and sees the puke, and then she pukes.
Oh,
then everyone in the circle starts puking. It created like a domino effect, a puke.
Oh, so you just told the clip.
I know, but I tell the whole thing in detail.
Wow.
I'll release that clip. But speaking of strippers, that's my latest stripper
Well, we
story.
talk about 3 different issues on strippers in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we have a lot of stripper content.
Thought about that.
But yes, we're definitely in the recession. It's a huge problem. Oh, another thing about price is being bad. Yesterday we went to the liquor store because we had people coming over. We had no alcohol.
Not those fucking freeloaders, right?
No. All good people.
We'll never have them.
And everyone like chipped in and even brought own stuff.
Nice. People should bring to a house if
Of
you
course.
drink.
These people always bring. So like they always bring whenever they come
Nice.
over. So we're at the liquor store and I asked the guy, I was like, do you have any limes? Because, usually if you're doing tequila, you should have limes around. And he goes, no, I don't sell them anymore. He goes, guess what they used to cost me 6 months ago? And he said it was $30 for a crate of limes. Now it's $99 for a crate of limes. So he's like, I just can't do it. He goes, I would lose money if I sold them. So and I'm like, yeah, the country's done. We're falling apart. What the fuck?
Big
limes.
issue.
We can't buy limes.
Big issues with the gas and Ronnie. People can't find places to rent and live.
Yeah, and then also speaking of all that, did you see last week or 2 weeks ago in the news, it was officially announced that Florida is the most expensive state in the country now in terms of real estate, in terms of value, in terms of how far your dollar goes. It's actually wild. That's
crazy.
This whole article that talks about it, it's mind-boggling. So this is from CBS News. It says Florida is the least affordable place to live in the U.S. Sally Starkey thought moving from Chicago to Florida would be easy, blah, blah, blah. We thought we would have no trouble finding a place to live. She was wrong. They inquired into 24 apartments before agreeing to a lease in a townhouse in North Naples, sight unseen, at 30, blah, 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 blah. Hold on. There's rents, which are rising by double digits nationwide, are positively ballooning in Florida, fueled by a surge of people who relocated to the state during the pandemic. Florida's population is growing faster than any state but Texas. Between 2020 and 2021, 300,000 people moved to Florida. It says, in February, Realtor.com designated Miami as America's least affordable place to live in the entire country. What? I lived in LA, the least affordable place to live. I moved to Miami, and now it's the least affordable. Wow. I was trying to escape that shit.
But you really have no debt.
No, and
you're ahead of the game.
Yes, totally. But like, this is a problem. That's a huge problem.
I'm glad I bought my places there.
Yeah, and it's a problem for the state, though. I don't know, though. It might be a bubble that's going to pop.
No, I don't think so, Bronny. I don't think it's closing popping so quickly.
It says average monthly rents are $2,930, which is on par with San Francisco and LA, and they're double the level considered affordable for people in the region, given the local incomes. Miami's typical rent takes up a whopping 60% of a household's typical income.
See, that's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
Here it says that figure is 45% more, 45% in Tampa and 37% in Orlando. Housing policy experts consider affordable rents at no more than 30% pre-tax income. So Miami is double the affordable rate of housing.
2/3 of your money goes towards how do you live?
That's you can't. Dad, you can't live.
Car, gas, insurance, electric.
Right. You can't
utilities.
live. That's the problem. You can't live. But then meanwhile, it's like all these Miami places that are at these insane prices, you can't find one because they're getting rented right away. So it's like
because there's plenty of people still with money.
How though? Like where are all these people coming from with money?
Everybody's parents, family. Yes,
yeah, but then how is there that much money in the country?
There is, Bronny. People have so much money. I do clothes for people. You'd be surprised. I'm not talking about $500,000. I'm talking millions.
Yeah.
People have so much money. I don't get it.
But then it's like
I don't understand how people have so much fucking money.
Yeah, and that also makes it weird because it's like, right, the top 1% or even let's say the 5%.
Just haves and have-nots.
But then it's like, if we know,
apart.
if there's so many people that were like, wow, how do all these people have money? Think about how many people don't. If it's 5% of the world,
95% don't.
Right. So then it's like, think about how many people.
Well, that's
there
what I'm saying. The haves and have-nots
sad.
get spread. It's wider divided.
And you know what happens when that happens?
A revolution.
Yep, exactly. That was the exact. Every time in history when the wealth gap has shortened so much that you can't sustain it, the 95% of the poor revolt.
Steal all the money.
I mean, money doesn't really exist, right? In real.
But assets, tangible.
Right, exactly. Yes, correct. Literally take over things. Literally.
That's why you need your guns.
That's happened every single time in history that's been a problem. There's no country anymore.
In America? When did that happen in America?
We've never had the problem yet. We've had America up until 20 years ago was a middle class country. The middle class was bigger than the lower class and the upper class. And that's what you want. because the middle class
Correct.
is
Makes up
happy,
the majority. And I
right?
agree.
If you have a big middle class, you have a sustainable economy. That means
I agree with that
people
completely.
can afford to go on vacation.
Factory
they can afford
workers,
to own a home.
normal, right? Yep.
If people want to be in the middle class, that's like ideal. You never want a huge upper class. It just isn't
right. You don't
possible.
want. I get it.
And the problem is, there's not much more middle class. Think of it like, what's middle class mean anymore?
Right. There is. That's right.
In 2022 America, I can't think of what middle class means. Even typical middle class people that you would think of in terms of economics can't afford to buy a home. So it's like, what does the middle class mean? It doesn't. So if 97% of these people are like, I literally can't afford to live, they're going to change it. They just are. When people get
desperate, people do desperate things.
Exactly. And that's a problem. We need to do something about it. I mean, nothing's going to get done.
But then again, I'm a control freak. I don't know the answer. What do you do? That's the problem.
Honestly, you don't do anything. You let the natural thing run its course, because
let God burn the forest down rejuvenate.
Meaning like let the 97% revolt.
You ain't taking my shit.
It's what
I ain't
happened
taking
in
my
France.
shit.
They will.
Nope. I'll carry my gun.
But it also doesn't even matter. Like, right? Like, you have a lot of money in your banks.
By the way, fucking 30% of the fucking market has gone down. So they're already taking half the fucking 30% of it. It's fucking gone.
No, that's not them taking it. They're losing more. They don't.
My point is,
the people who can't afford to buy a home, they don't have their money in the market.
You know what I'm trying to say? Meaning someone like me or whatever, we're getting killed in the fucking market.
Yeah, but that's not people taking it away. That's just, it's going away. It's not going to anyone else.
But either way, take it or not, it's fucking gone.
Yes, right. And so that's like that. If there's a revolution of the plebeian class, if you will, right, the lower class, it's not like, sure, you have this home, but if this home becomes devalued because we don't have an economy, it's pointless.
Correct.
And most of your money is not real, right? It's like in banks, in numbers. It's not cash.
Don't stress me.
If the banks go under, that's happened before. Mm-hmm. That literally, when the Soviet Union collapsed, the banks gone, just didn't exist. So it's like, if your money's in these banks and they don't exist tomorrow, your money doesn't exist. So it's like, you're like, they can't take it from me. Yeah, because they won't have anything to take. That's the problem. And it's happened in every country that has become split in a wealth gap. There's been a revolution. It's never been sustained. China is the only one that has been able to sustain it. And they haven't been long. It's been, 80 years since the revolution in China? Actually, no, it wasn't even. The reason China exists now is because the poor people revolted. And that's why they created a communist country, because they felt that the upper class was they weren't being treated fair. So they literally fought a war. 30 million people died. And this was not long ago. This was great-grandparents' generation. It's not like this was like the 1400s. They literally fought a war. Millions and millions and millions of people died. And now they live in a communist country because the poor people were like, this isn't fair. We need to change it. I don't want that to happen here. But if we don't do something drastic, it's inevitable. You think 50 million people are just going to sit around and let themselves be homeless? No. Because 20 years ago, they had homes and they had nice cars and they were able to go on vacations. And now they can't. So they're going to turn to someone and point a finger. And that's usually going to be the government.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I would love the economy to be stronger. I really would. I think everyone has the right to earn and live their life and be happy and be able to afford things. I mean, look at the cars right now. Uncle Brand needs a car. He can't even get a car.
Yeah.
And then he says in the car, and they want like $300 more a month on a lease than what the car really should be. You can't even get fucking cars.
Exactly.
And like they called me, like the Chevy dealer called me. They want to buy at top dollar our 3.5-year-old Suburban.
Yeah.
They have no inventory.
Volvo sends me letters every other week, and I'm like, sure, that money would be nice, but then also I don't have a car and I won't be able to get one. That's the problem. It's like, if I give you my car, then I don't have a car.
But do I really need a Suburban?
No.
But then again,
but what? So you get what, $30,000 for it?
Like, who cares? My life. I agree. Right. So isn't it better?
And then like eventually, if you're like, oh, I want to get another truck, then you're gonna have to spend $60,000.
Right. And
I
own my car.
Exactly.
So what's the point?
There's no point. There's no point.
And it's
you
nice.
don't need the money,
right.
And this is useful to you.
Very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And $30,000, what? You're gonna put that on the market and then lose it in 2 months, anyways?
I don't depress me.
It's all ridiculous. Yeah, it's all ridiculous. But this whole Florida thing, it goes on and on. And
I like this though. I like the Florida strong.
I know, but it might be too strong. That's the problem.
People are still coming
because it can't keep up. And now it's like there's all these problems. All the mayors in South Florida, the Miami mayor, the Fort Lauderdale mayor, Boca mayor, like all the mayors of the cities in South Florida met last week to discuss housing.
I know, but what do you do?
And they don't know. But they feel like they're in a crisis. If all the mayors are meeting, like that never happens. If all the mayors are meeting to figure out, they literally.
Ron, would I have clients paying for houses, Bronny?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's unimaginable, Bronny. It's our old house, Bronny. Sold for so much more than
it sold for what? 3 times the price?
No,
I'm not saying the actual. Don't say the actual price.
It sold for 2 times the amount in 3 years.
Yeah,
a little less than 2 times.
Where was
crazy,
this?
Right?
It's a huge problem. I don't know what to do. Here, look, Miami area mayors discuss housing crisis. So they're calling it a housing crisis, and that if they're calling it a crisis, they don't want to.
But what do they say?
It says, an idea. Homestead Mayor Stephen Lawson said he's watching the housing crunch spill out into backyards in his city. If Homestead is having a housing problem,
go on. Read more.
For those who don't know, Homestead is like it's an hour west of Miami. It's like
very
like
south.
The Everglades.
Yeah.
Everyone there has a lot of land. There's nothing there. It's like it's the country in Florida. Where some low-income residents make do with whatever illegal shelter might be available with affordable rents. There's a quote, we even have situations of people living in metal tool sheds. Said at a meeting Wednesday with 24 municipal mayors in Miami-Dade County. That is a direct result of this affordability crisis. Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine called the meeting to discuss housing costs and the recent surge in rents in Miami and across the country. Clearly, it has reached a fierce level for everyone. Among the challenges, the mayor cited developer interest in affordable housing. With builders not showing interest in purchasing property in low-income neighborhoods, Florida City Mayor Otis Wallace said his municipality created a 3-block site of publicly owned land available for construction. That's good, that they're taking public land that wouldn't have been used for anything else and building houses.
Yeah.
We now have developers coming in and showing interest because we did the heavy lifting. Another problem is resistance to affordable housing. In Pinecrest, Mayor Joseph Corradino said the village's effort to expand housing options with reasonable prices into commercial areas near transit lines has run into resistance from the residents concerned about the new construction. There's a fear of density. Help us support what we know is the right thing to do, but it is running into tremendous opposition from some of the community. That's a big problem.
I wouldn't want affordable housing next to me.
Right. But then
no, you get it.
It's a big problem. That's another. So I watched this. Wow, that kind of ties into another thing I want to talk to you about a while ago. Or not a while ago, but I watched this video 2 weeks ago, and it's from the New York Times. And I thought it was very interesting. The New York Times published this whole video, and it's called Liberal Hypocrisy is Fueling American Inequality. That's a headline that the New York Times is putting out, the most liberal paper, which I thought was very interesting.
But we know they're hypocrites. Most of the stuff's hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because the people saying we don't want walls live in houses with walls and security.
Right, that's what he talks about.
The people that saying we don't need the police have their own private security. It's such a crock of shit.
That's exactly what he talks about.
We've known this for years, though, Bronny.
Yeah, let me see if I can find what they say. It was actually really interesting.
Everything on this map that is yellow is zoned for...
Let me go back. I think it's somewhere in here. It was really, really interesting. And it's like when the New York Times is admitting that the liberals are what's causing all the problems.
I think at some point they got to realize that I got to put the fucking news out there.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like that's kind of crazy.
But you've been talking about the pendulum swinging.
We've started seeing that in all these liberal publications. They're starting to be like, okay, enough's enough. This is a huge problem.
If we keep supporting it, we're like clowns.
Yeah.
Gone up and away.
The median price of a home in San Diego County is now a staggering $830,000.
The median price.
All around California, there are cities full of people who say that they are progressive. They're liberals. They believe in a more equal America, a more diverse America. They show up to the marches, they put in the lawn signs about everyone being equal, but at the same time, they're actively fighting to keep their neighborhoods looking like this.
He's showing just like suburbia.
Okay,
beautiful,
wait,
yeah.
That doesn't look so bad. It's just a bunch of houses in a neighborhood, right? No. It turns out that this is actually the result of specific policies, intentional policies that keeps these neighborhoods spread out and full of single-family homes, as opposed to higher density buildings like duplexes or apartment complexes. This is a real, serious fight, and you can get a glimpse into it by looking at a zoning map. Yes, we're looking at a municipal zoning map of Palo Alto, California. Don't leave yet. This is really where it sinks in, so just stick around. So everything on this map that is yellow is zoned for single-family homes, like this and this. One
for those
family
listening,
homes.
it's about,
Two-thirds.
But here in Palo Alto, there are a lot of new jobs. This is a desirable place to live for new opportunities. Over the past 8 years, the San Francisco area has added 676,000 jobs, but only 176,000 housing units. So
It's
a few
like,
years
how is
ago,
that
the city
possible?
council voted to change the zoning of one
You need
section
apartment
of the
buildings.
city, right here. Specifically, this 2
So
acre
it's literally 1 block.
Yeah, not even. It was
He
tiny
said
as
2
shit.
acres.
plot of land. They wanted to change it from low density housing to higher density housing so that they could build a 60-unit affordable housing complex for elderly
nobody
members
wants that
of the
near them.
community. Okay, so they changed the zoning. Start building the 60-unit complex. No, the overwhelmingly liberal residents of Palo Alto decided to hold a vote to overturn the decision, to revert it back to low-density, single-family housing, back to yellow. And
Which
it
I get.
and the zoning was overturned.
I do
so now when
get,
you go to
but
this
it's also like we
instead of an affordable housing complex for the elderly, what you're going to see is this: a row of just a few houses, all of them massive and worth around $5 million each.
I think people aren't living their values. You go to these meetings in these neighborhoods where they're talking about a new housing project, and it's always the same song, and it goes like this. I am very in favor of affordable housing. We need more of it in this
Just not my
community.
backyard.
However, I have some concerns about this project.
We have the hearts to do this, but we're doing it wrong, and we're dictating and harm onto the neighborhoods.
And then off we go with the concerns, and then nothing ever gets built.
This is happening all over California.
People
and the
full of
result is
shit.
that these neighborhoods are so expensive that they keep anyone out who isn't a part of this small group of super rich residents, many of whom bought their properties decades ago and who spend their time fighting vigorously to keep the value of their real estate assets.
But
super
why?
high.
But aren't they allowed to? It's their asset. Why do you want to reduce? It's like saying, aren't their house? Shouldn't they? If they want to maintain the property values and whatever, don't they have a right to oppose it?
Of course they have a right, but it's like at a certain point, we might all just have to accept that things are going to have to change in this country.
Or Bronny, or just saying, because this society we live in, all these people, whatever generation, there's a sense of entitlement and convenience. And
This
think,
is your generation's
let me
problem.
finish. Let me finish. I'm not blaming you guys, your generation. I'm just saying all generations. It's just the way society's become.
Well, it's just an American thing to be entitled,
Wait,
for sure.
Okay, correct. Okay, that's better said. So, but the thing is this, but our grandparents and our parents used to drive an hour each way to work. They used to move further out. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, when you look at Boca, now even West Boca, they're getting $3 million, $4 million for those fucking homes in the bridge and Seven Bridge, which is crazy. Crazy. But my point is, if you have to drive an hour, like you can build these high density buildings in other locations that might not be in these multi-million-dollar communities, and people might just have to fucking drive. They don't have to live in Palo Alto. They can, like, your friends move to the valley, right? This is what you do. So sometimes you can't afford it, which I respect and get. You have to live within your means. If you have to drive an hour each way, you do it. There's people that live, when we were in New York, people commute an hour. No, but Bronny, you're not used to it because it's just not what you've accustomed to. But when we were your age, people commute an hour and a half each way. Now people want to work from home. They want convenience. They want luxury. They want a job that they like. It's this entitlement. And I got to tell you something. I deserve to own it. I don't care. I'll go into debt. I don't care if I don't have money. I should get it. There should be equality. It's this whole thing in that regard where it just doesn't work. If you can't afford it, you move further out and you're more inconvenienced.
Right, and people are literally moving out to Homestead and they still can't afford it. So it's like you're speaking in a perfect world.
No.
In a perfect world, if you can't afford to live in the city, don't live in the city. It's like, but even people can't afford to not live in the city. And then they can't even just drive an hour. They can't afford a car.
Yes,
they can't
and no.
afford $7 a gallon gas.
Well, that's all.
So it's like, how can they drive an hour? That's
but
more expensive than living in the city and walking.
But we're talking about this one issue, but the housing.
I know, but I'm saying to you, it's like, yes, that is the problem. But
so then what? You want to go to
problem's
socialism
unsolvable.
or communism? No, I don't know if I don't agree with that.
No, that's not the answer. The answer is change the way things are.
How?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
There isn't an answer until we
But
find it.
But I do agree there is. But even though there's the hypocrisy, I get it, because if I had liberal views, I say, look, I want it for these people. I definitely want to help these people. I just don't want it in my backyard.
Right, but then whose backyard? Where does it go? If you think it has to exist, but not in your backyard, then where?
Then maybe put it in more of a commercial area. Put these buildings in a commercial zone area.
But the commercial areas are already built up.
But
there's no room to
there's
put.
There's warehouse districts. There's things that are I don't know. Just don't put it in the.
I know, but then even like those warehouse districts. So they're talking about like affordable housing, right? Not like trendy, cool.
Or like what's in Boca. Look, you have high rise in Boca, but they're expensive.
Yeah, or like think about Miami, right? Like the old warehouse area used to be Wynwood, and it was dirt cheap to buy property, and now it's one of the most expensive areas because it's like cool lofts and all this shit. And it's like, but where's the affordable housing? There does need to.
Don't know,
and
Brian.
I do hate government regulation, and I hate governments making rules. But it is another thing. Like last week, we were talking about this too with in terms of like business. But this might be another thing too. Like we might need government rules to forcibly create houses that people can buy. Yeah. Because if it's privatized, it's just going to keep going up because we see it keep going up. And I hate that I feel that way because I think it should be up to just whatever people want. But
you also can't. But we have an obligation to help. I do believe that our government has an obligation to also help the people who need it and not where they run rampant. There should not be the homeless. So I agree. Again, Bronny, it's just us talking. We both agree and recognize it's a problem. We just don't know how to solve it.
And no one does. That's why it's still a problem. And that's why there's every day in Congress they're trying to figure out an answer, and there just isn't an answer.
It's not easy.
The problem is there's too many of us.
I get it, but the
businesses are too big. That's the real
Bronny,
problem.
But to me, we do know there's a lot of us, right? So we should not be letting people come over here illegally, and we got to take care of these.
That's not the problem.
But I'm just saying, but that adds to it.
Barely.
It does. Oh no.
Let's see percentage of immigrants, right? So America is 380 million people. Let's see how many immigrants a year come. I would bet it's under 3%.
But you can't do how many Americans are there?
Let's see percentage of immigrants in the U.S. each year. 19%.
That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking influx of people coming in.
This represents 19% of the 244 million international migrants worldwide and 14% of the U.S. population.
Okay, Bronny, coming in.
Immigration to the United States. This is from Wikipedia. Let's see. This gives averages per year. Hold on. Let me get to our year.
We got to do a daddy issues. I mean,
we are doing daddy issues.
Douchebag.
Where was that chart? I just saw a whole chart. Here. No. Okay. This is not helpful at all.
Okay, 14% of
the United States admitted more legal immigrants from 1991 to 2000, between 10 and 11 million than in any previous decade. In the most recent decade, the 10 million legal immigrants that settled in the U.S. represented roughly 1/3 of the annual growth, as the U.S. population increased by 32 million, 249 to 281. But that's wrong. That number is worth at 338. By comparison, the highest previous decade was in the 1990s.
Okay, but it's a lot. The number's a lot.
In 2018, there were almost 90 million immigrants and U.S.-born children of immigrants in the United States, accounting for 28% of the overall U.S. population. But that's not each year. That's in the year. While immigration has increased drastically over the 20th century, the foreign-born share of the population is 13.4%, only somewhat below what it was at its peak in 1910, which was 14.7%, which was, by the way, our ancestors. A number of factors may be attributed.
Which came here legally.
Yes, this is talking about that. This is talking about legal. We
can't
people
come here legal. I have no problem with that.
That's what it's. Okay. It says the foreign-born share of the population is 13.4%, somewhat below its peak, which in 1910 was 14.7%.
If people come here legally, I have no issue with that.
82% of immigrants come from North and Western Europe. Wait, no, that's in 1880. Yeah, I was like, there's no way that's nowadays. Contemporary immigrants settle predominantly in 7 states: California, New York, Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, Jersey, and Illinois, comprising 44% of the U.S. population as a whole. The combined total immigrant population of these 7 states was 70% of the immigrant population. That's interesting. So they're like, no immigrants going to Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Interesting. Right, that's a fun fact.
I don't think immigrants are the problem in this affordable housing crisis.
No, but it's more people. It affects our school system, affects our healthcare, it affects housing and homeless. It affects a lot of things.
So
people
we're
illegally.
We're talking about legal.
I'm talking about illegal.
Oh, illegal, it's impossible
I
to
have
track.
no problem coming here legal.
And it's impossible to...
By the way, if an immigrant comes here and becomes a U.S. citizen, I'm all in favor.
That's what I'm talking about.
I have no problem. I was talking about illegal.
But how can we have no idea of the
there
illegal
are
thing.
millions and millions of people coming in here illegally every
How
year.
do you know
Millions.
that? Millions.
Millions.
How do you know that?
100%.
Let's see.
100%.
Amount of illegal immigrants in U.S. each year. Okay, this is from Pew Research. So this is legit. Key facts about the changing U.S. unauthorized. The U.S. unauthorized immigrant population rose rapidly from 1990 to 2007 before declining sharply for 2 years and stabilizing at 10.5 million in 2017. Pew Research Center's most recent estimate is well below a peak of 12.2 million in 2007, but roughly triple the estimated 3.5 million in 1990. The estimate includes 1.5 million or more people who have temporary permission to stay in the U.S. through DACA and the temporary protected. Mexican unauthorized immigrants are no longer the majority of those living illegally in the U.S. That's interesting. As of 2017, 4.9 million unauthorized, so they're using unauthorized. Let's use illegal. 4.9 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. were born in Mexico as of 2017, while 5.5 million were from other countries. The first time since at least 1990 that those from Mexico were not a majority. In 2007, 6.9 million illegal immigrants were Mexican and 5.3 were born in other countries. It's not telling us each year.
All right.
But it sounds like you're right. Millions.
Millions. Interesting.
The decline in the arrival of new illegal immigrants.
And then they have children and become, right? It's just added on, and we can't sustain it.
Yeah, what does it say? Percentage. Yeah. About 2/3 of illegal immigrants had lived in the U.S. for more than 10 years as of 2017, up from 41% 10 years earlier. Conversely, newly arrived illegal immigrants, those in the U.S. 5 years or less, account for 20%. So most of the illegal immigrants, Dad, that's actually very interesting. 66% of people living here illegally have been here for over 10 years. So that's not a... So that doesn't really work.
No, it does.
I guess because then they have children.
No,
but then their children are legal.
No, but you're missing the point though. But it's a trickle down effect, Monty. Okay, so what happens is it's supplies, it's healthcare, it's education, not having the space.
Yeah,
these all create problems.
Fair.
That's all I'm saying. They all create problems.
You're right.
So
you're right.
I don't know what the answer is, but if we know that's a fact, we need to take care of our own first. We need to stop it. It's like this, Bronny. If you were on an island, and there was only a certain amount of resources, and let's say the 50 people live on the stranded island, and then a boat came with 200 people, you'd be like, no, whoa, we have a problem.
This is a great thing.
Wouldn't you say we have a problem?
Yes, but we have a problem. Yes. Oh, this is interesting because I don't know if I feel the same way. Like, who are you to say that this is your island? You were just there.
Okay, but wait, but there's a difference.
This boat found the island just like you found the island.
But I want to say this. But here's what I want to say.
Ooh.
Here's what I want to say about that.
I do feel that way. Like, we have no claim to this land.
No.
We were in that immigration.
No, but
we're not Americans. We're Jews that came over here.
Came here legally.
Right.
Legally. The system. So the difference is this.
But Dad, you also have to admit, back then, it was insanely easy to come here legally.
That's true, but Bronny,
now it's insanely difficult.
But Bronson, people that came over
takes
here
10 years to become.
People that came here for the most part wanted to be proud to be American and worked and contributed.
You don't think of that about...
It's all about the free rides.
The illegal immigrants are way harder working than the entitled Americans, that like you call them.
Okay. All I'm saying is this. If I have a certain amount of rations for my family...
Don't you feel that way?
Listen, if I have a certain amount of rations for my family and someone came and said, wait, we want to come in your fucking house and live in your fucking house, I'm like, you ain't taking my fucking rations. It's my family. We have
different from a house.
I'm making it very small.
Let's do the island. We're on an island, and we got here 3 days ago on this island because our boat washed ashore, right? So we found ourselves in a shitty situation. We stumbled upon this island. It's great. There's a lot of coconuts on the island, and we decided that like these 10 trees.
No, there's not a lot. There's limited space.
So there's
limited
15,
coconuts.
There's 15 trees that make coconuts on this island, and we've been here for 3 days. So we're like, oh, look at all these trees. We don't need to worry about keeping our trees
for a while.
Right.
We have to worry.
We've been on this island for a week, and now all of a sudden another boat is coming with another family, and they're like, oh my God, you guys have a coconut. It's amazing. I'm so thirsty. I need a coconut. And we're like, no. These are our fucking coconuts. No, they're not our coconuts.
Wait. No, but
they're everyone's coconuts.
No, but America is not everybody's land.
It is, though.
It's not.
It is. That's
No,
the
I
whole
don't-
point of this
no.
country. That's what it was started
but it's
upon.
destroying our country. Don't you say that if we are overrunning our fucking country, we don't have the resources. Look
I
at
know,
our
but the only
healthcare.
reason
No,
we
but
are
Bronny,
successful in America
Okay.
is because America was the country where it said, "Come, one and all."
Okay, but
you
now
can succeed.
but we
The American
can't
dream.
sustain it. Look at the fucking.
So is the
fuel
American dream dead?
And gas.
Is America a different country than it was back then?
Bronson, you have to. It's like this. If you, I believe in this too. If you can't afford to have fucking kids, you have 10 fucking kids. I think you should fucking be spayed and neutered. Okay.
No.
My point is, you can't.
No.
Yes, I disagree.
Who chooses that then?
Well, that's a separate issue. I'm just
no,
saying.
but that's exactly the
but,
problem.
But the point is, we can't sustain. You can't sustain it. And if people are not contributing,
Right, so I guess, is it like a club that's like first 500 members can get in, and we were lucky to get in, and now it's like we closed the membership?
I don't know what the answer is, but we do know it's a problem. If we have, Bronson, if there is no housing.
I agree it's a problem.
Listen. If there's no housing because there's too many people and we don't have, and we're letting more and more people, millions and millions and millions, we have a problem. That's a fact.
I agree totally. And I am on that side. But I also, at the same time, just logically see that it's completely unfair that our grandparents came 100 years ago, or our grandparents came 70 years ago, and they bought these houses in Palo Alto for $50,000, and now they're $50 million.
Okay, Bronny.
And it's like no one else can buy them now.
But Bronny, so if I die one day and I leave you fucking money, and you should give it to people who don't have money?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I mean, you can't. There are things just are what they are, and I got to tell you.
But should we try to make the world a little fairer?
Listen,
just say, sucks to suck, bitch.
And by the way, if we have an issue,
because they're the same as us.
Listen, if we have, let's say, hypothetically, a gas shortage, what do? You can't.
Hypothetically, we do, Dad.
No, we don't have a gas shortage. We just have gas high prices.
Why do you think they're high prices?
Well, because I don't think it's a shortage. It's all crock of shit. I think they fucking know what they're doing. But here's my point. Okay, so.
Because there's not a lot of gas.
Listen, when we had gas shortages in the 70s on a Carter, I believe, right? 70s? I think it was late 70s or something. So my point is this. We were told, just like with water shortages, if your license plate ends with an odd number, an even number, you can only go on certain days. You had a ration. Well, we now have a problem with space. They don't make more land. We have a problem with resources. We have a problem with goods and inventories.
Certainly.
So therefore, I'm saying we're still the land of freedom and hope and things like that and liberty. But we just have to pull back a little bit. We have to change things up.
But also, Americans aren't rationing.
Listen,
Americans are over.
Wait, but I'm talking about in general. Hear me out. Someone saying we can't let people come in. We want people to become U.S. citizens, but we might have to toll that and put it on a hiatus. I mean, if you come here illegally, I'll give you an example.
No, I agree.
Biden, when Biden took when all the illegal people came in to like Westchester Airport and this or whatever. Remember this happened when illegal people came in the middle of the night on the planes, various airports. The fucking county shipped the fucking people and dropped them off in front of the politicians' offices, like in D.C. and things like that. They literally
When did this happen? Came in on airplanes? Like
there were a lot of immigrants that came over
when?
illegally. Mom will know.
Planes can't land illegally.
Not okay. I'm saying it wrong. They came over illegally, and they
bought plane tickets and just showed up here.
They came here illegally, and then the politicians put them in fucking buses and planes and brought them to other states and cities where we'll drop you off in this place, because it was so. I know I'm not making sense, but it was so easy.
Are you talking about what happened in Texas, when all those Haitians were going through the border?
The hypocrites where, just like the politicians saying, hey, it's great, we want them to come, but just don't come in front of my house. So they dropped them off in front of all these hypocritical politicians. But look, I don't know what the answer, but I do know that
that's only making the situation worse. I don't think that's a good idea at all, but I understand. That's just being petty and making the country a worse place.
Why you want them dropped off in front of your house?
No, send them back.
Well,
don't bring them deeper.
I get it, but Brian,
if you're like, we don't want any immigrants coming. Oh, here are all the immigrants.
No,
let's take you to Chicago. It's turn them away.
I don't know what the right answer is. All I know is if we have limited space and limited resources.
I know. We definitely limited resources.
And space.
There's not limited space. There's limited desirable space. You go to Kansas. You go to Texas. You go to Oklahoma. There's plenty of space.
Yep.
There's just everyone wants to live in these little places.
Right.
Everyone wants to live in New York, Miami, Chicago, LA, Seattle.
Well, not anymore. Chicago,
Austin.
Right.
That's Texas, the only places people want to live. And it's like, guys, we're not all going to be able to live here.
That's right.
So maybe that's one. But then again, it's like the other problem is that's where the jobs are. So that's kind of one of the good things about remote work. How you're like, remote work's so bad. It's like, if everyone wants to work at Google, and Google only used to be the jobs were in New York or Palo Alto, right? That's why Palo Alto's so big.
Do it anywhere now.
But it's like now you can work from Google in Wichita, Kansas, and you can maybe afford to buy a home off your Google salary, but living in Wichita, Kansas. That's one solution. That is one solution that you don't need to be, because the only reason why cities exist is because people had to live close to their jobs.
Right.
And so back in the day, there were no cities.
Now it's the bars.
And then it was like factories where people started living around the factories, and then they created cities. Cities never like really were big before.
Again, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is, but I do know that if you let more people here illegally, it takes away.
And kind of, I do kind of agree with you. Even legally, it's like we're in such turmoil. We might need to figure out our own shit before we can like be like the America that the world needs. We might have to figure some stuff out first because we're not the America the world needs.
If we had a tough time financially, whatever, we have to pull back. That's what you do.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't America have to pull back too?
Yeah, it's like when you have a tough month, you don't splurge.
Right, you don't go on vacation. You got to choose priorities. There's plenty of people.
But our priorities are out of whack.
Well, that's because of the
our
world,
priorities
right?
are like we're spending on all this shit. Yeah,
right. But I can't. All I can try to do is work in my little microcosm of my family first and whatever, because I can't.
I know.
But all right, so because I gotta get going. Let's do our fatherly advice thing. But it is a problem, Bronny. It is a problem. Crazy.
Your internet in this house just doesn't work, so that's really good. Okay, now it's working. Look how slow.
I don't know what to tell you, Bronny. We have internet issues and cooling down master bedroom with the AC.
Yeah, the AC in all the houses we've ever lived in never has worked. Okay, so this is from Tommy. Tommy said, "Hey, I need advice from you guys. I'm a 19-year-old guy, and I've been dating my girlfriend for 2 years."
Okay, there's no issues right there. You're 19, dude.
No,
I'm teasing.
What? 19-year-old don't have problems.
Good.
Everything is good. No, he wants our advice on a situation.
Is that what that is, Bronny?
Everything is going good, but for some reason, I've been feeling like I want to be single again and start meeting people and going out. Okay, legal drinking age in Canada is 18, so I haven't been single at the bars yet. In the past, I was really stressed about work and figuring out what I wanted to do in life, and I felt like I couldn't be in a relationship. I told my girlfriend this, and she insisted we can work it out together, and I agreed. She promised to help me make my life stress-free while being able to manage our relationship. Where my problem is that she has done everything she said she would, and I can't express how much she impressed me, but for some reason, I still feel like I don't want the commitment. What do I do?
Okay, you know the answer.
1, 2, 3.
End
Break
it.
up. Yeah, obviously.
Okay. First of all,
by the way, your girlfriend can be an amazing, amazing person, and you can still want to break up with them.
Okay, right. Here's what I'm going to get. You're 19. Doesn't make you a bad person. Life, you're young. There's so many experiences out there. So many women to experience. So many situations. I know it's going to be painful because you're not like in a fight with her. You didn't do anything to harm her or vice versa. If you're ready to move on, and it's a normal thing because you're 19, and look, you might be making a mistake. You might not be, but it's not detrimental.
And you know what? I disagree. You're never making a mistake. If you want to be single and you break up,
right?
And then 2 months later, you're like, I actually want to be back with her. I don't like being single anymore. Then it wasn't a mistake. You learned more about the relationship, and now you'll commit even stronger.
You got to end it, Tommy.
Obviously.
It's not that big of a deal. This is not a problem. It's a normal thing, and I think it's normal what you're feeling, what you're going through, and you should experience various things out there. And at 19, you should be enjoying yourself.
If you are yearning to be single, then be single. Obviously,
Absolutely.
You're only going to make the relationship worse,
right?
If you stay
now,
there's no you don't owe, like, there's no obligation,
right? You're not married to her. You don't have kids,
and it's also like, even if she's been amazing to you, that's awesome. If she's done everything that she said she would.
I hope the girl you're with or the partner you're with is amazing to you, because that's a healthy relationship.
But it's not like that's a reason to stay. Because, by the way, if you feel like you want to stay with her because she's been great to you, but you
don't do that.
You're being worse to her.
Actually, that's right. That's mean to her.
Exactly.
Because
if you think that she's been good to you,
and
then
it's
you
guilt,
being good to her.
You don't stay with someone for guilt.
What I'm saying is, if
I get it, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, but you didn't let me finish my sentence.
Go ahead.
If you're saying that she's been so good to you, then you want to be good back to her. The way you can be good back to her is by breaking up with her, because you don't want to be right. Exactly. If you stay in it, you're an asshole, and it's very unfair to her.
It's completely normal, and you where it I'm not saying this is, but what you do need to, and you're too young to even think about it. But if you, let's say you're 25 and you realize you can't maintain a relationship because you always think the grass green on the other side.
That's a whole different issue.
That's a whole different. Then you need to work on that. But at 19, I don't think that's the case. Then you just figure, I want to experience my life and I want to see what else is out there and just live and have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if anybody tells you something differently, I think they're completely wrong, because it's a normal thing for you to say, I just want to have fun.
Yeah, and it's also, he's been dating her for 2 years. It's like, that's the mark. 2 years is like, you either know it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do another 2 years, or we're over.
Tommy, I think you move on.
Yeah, and it's going to suck.
It's going to suck. It's not going to be easy.
Tommy, I did the exact same thing. I dated my ex for 2 years. She did nothing wrong. She was great. She did nothing wrong. I just wanted to break up with her.
She wasn't,
and it was horrible. So my second round of advice is, it's going to suck, but you got to do it. And just keep in the back of your mind while you're doing it that you're actually doing the right thing.
Because the relationship's a lie then.
Exactly. So you're doing the right thing, and yes, you're hurting her, but you're making it better now, because you would end up hurting her much worse down the road. Now you're hurting her innocently. If you continue on another year knowing that you don't want to be her,
you're wasting
then
her
you're
time.
hurting her maliciously.
You're wasting her time.
Yeah.
So Tommy, keep us posted. Good luck with the breakup. Keep us posted.
Yeah, Tommy, you can DM me on Instagram if you want any advice on like how to actually broach the subject, because I've been there many times. I'm a never been broken up with person.
Oh my God! All right.
Never been broken up with. Only the breaker upper.
That's so narcissistic and whatever. So
I've said though on the podcast that I want to be broken up with, because I think it's an important thing. But yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not being narcissistic.
Okay. I love you, Bronny.
Love you too.
Everybody, thank you. Tommy, good luck. On that note, we're out. Later. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.